The following audio may contain coarse language and other material that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil anything and everything, so you have been warned. Hello and
oh my god, that's the best.
hello and welcome to the Save Point Gamecast.
Wow.
Your one-stop source for all your gaming news and opinions and editorial.
And belching coughs.
Oh, God. That hurts. I'm Jack Newman. I am joined here today by Benjamin Haworth. Ben Haworth, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. That's better than you, it sounds like, from the intro.
Yeah, I feel like I just like come up with new ways to fuck up an intro. That's like it's my in-game plan here. And I'm also joined here today by Peter Dancy. How are you, Peter?
I'm pretty good. I think the reason why like your body is just kind of like I'm gonna fuck up this intro. And I was thinking about this the other day when Ben, Sarah, and I were recording Geek Space 9. Like how much I love how just like the intro that is like a kind of across the board is hello, you are listening to, and so your body was just like, I can spice this up for like 2 seconds. Let's go there.
It's always because like I need to pick like a different liquid to drink during these because I always have like a Coke or a Diet Coke or I have like or some like Pellegrino water, super fancy,
like something bubbly.
Something carbonated. I always drink something carbonated because it makes me feel good before I do this. And as soon as I do it, I'm like, and it's at this point I'm like the gassiest podcast host on like the internet. I'm just saying, like between the farts and burps. I mean, this is quality entertainment right here.
This is why people tune in.
I mean, why do you think fart jokes exist?
Yeah, I already sold my friend on this like podcast that I'm doing, and I was like, you should listen to the next episode. Hey Ronaldo, I hope you're enjoying if you are listening. I'm not affiliated with
I can't burp. Fuck! Now that I talked about it, I can't burp.
Yeah. Your body's like, I'm done.
He's pissed off. Alright, anyways, let's talk about what we played. Ben, you finished Deus Ex this week.
Yay!
Yeah, I did.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. There it is.
Good lord.
Oh, there was some solid material in that. Oh, okay, keep going, Ben.
Well, Jack vomits in his own mouth. We'll talk about Deus Ex. There's something to do with the game itself, I promise. I really enjoyed this game. I had a weird history with, maybe not a weird history, but maybe a lot of people have it, the Human Revolution, which is I got this game,
yeah,
and I was like, yeah, this is my jam. It had some of the best marketing I think I've ever seen.
Oh my god, the marketing was amazing.
Such good marketing, such good storytelling. It looked like, and the game was really good. I loved going through all these things, discovering stuff. I loved how open it was, and then I got to the first boss battle. And as a hacky, stealthy, quiet, shooty guy, suddenly had to take out a giant armored tank man with rocket launchers, and I couldn't.
I know what boss you're talking about.
So I quit, and Director's Cut came around and apparently made it much more open for that kind of hacky, shooty, silent type gameplay, but it's too late. And
which,
I never really...
to my argument, would be like for me playing this game, like that's the way I want to play it.
You want to go and you want to go.
Yeah, like that. That's what's the awesome. There are enough like explode. I don't even. I'm glad that this game gives people the opportunity to do things.
Right.
But like when I played it this week as well. Ben beat it. I only played about halfway through so far.
And I played none of it.
Pick it up and finish it. No. But the point is like there's so many exploding great games out there.
Yeah.
With like kind of explosive kind of runs of things like when you pick up a Deus Ex game, I want to be like stealthier or I'm never non-lethal. That's just not my way of playing. But I definitely like do stealth things to like thin the crowd, and I really enjoy that coming in and just like killing two people because they're the only ones left. Totally. Like that's my favorite way to play that game.
Well, I think it's interesting too because the game kind of what I love about it is it's not super moralizing. There are certain like obvious things that will affect the plot and change things and. The way you do certain things will change how the ending is a little bit, but like you can literally kill somebody and get away with it, and no one's ever going to talk about it or mention it. Like you can go in the sewers and murder all the homeless people if you really want. It's a fucked up thing to do, but you can totally do it. And there's something kind of weird and open and trusting.
It's that same sort of Grand Theft Auto moralizing where it's like there are consequences. Well, not Grand Theft Auto. That's a different. That's a loaded that's a loaded choice for
Right.
me there. What I mean more so is like it doesn't pass judgment on you, but it does have realistic consequences. Like let's say I go help the people in the sewers, there's realistic consequences from that. Let's say that I like help the police or do these sorts of things, there's realistic consequences from that. Let's say that like, you know, there's the lady in the safe house who makes fake IDs. Like let's say I save her or kill her, there's realistic consequences to that close off areas and close off things I could have done by getting a fake ID or getting some things or going off and helping some people. Like it does a good job of creating consequences without passing judgment on the player. Like there's so many moral shades of gray, which is really what I've always wanted, and I'm just glad it's not like, you know, video games keep trying to have like dynamic systems like in Infamous where it's like paralyzing sides. Well, you know, this is what we need, like right here. Realistic consequences but no judgment.
Totally. And I do appreciate that it really is open in a way that's not like it's open and you can do this 3 ways. For example, I did one where I was had to find and I love the way you discover it too. Like the game doesn't just hand out NPCs.
Oh, yeah.
Like just because I was going through every single apartment in my apartment complex. I happened to go into one with this drug dealer, and I read his computer, and that's what starts it. So I had to like go into this drug dealer's home and like find his computer and read it there, and it's like that's how I find this quest. And basically, it was about this like new drug called Neon, and you want to go shut it down because Neon's actually causing the augmented people to actually die, like reacts with their system, and so like I sneak in and I get to the chemist lady, and I try to do like a persuade thing on her, but I fail, and so she's like, "Help! Call the guards!" So I like kill her, and then like reload the game and try a different way. So then I get to the security office because I realize I have to turn off these turrets or whatever. So I hack into that and I turn on the turret, and the turret just blows up all the fucking, because I clicked like friendly fire on or something like that. It just blows up all the fucking bats, and that makes it win. Like that's an option, but I didn't like that option, so I reloaded again, went back in, did the correct sort of learn thing, helped her like make me get into it and stuff. And it's like, that's what I love with the game. Like, you could totally just blow it up. Yay, I did it. Move home and never have talked to that person. Didn't know she had this whole other life. If there was a person who you might want to save or care about in there at all. But, like, it's not going to be like, oh, don't you know that you did the wrong thing? Like, it's really smart about, like, here's the problem. How are you going to fix it? You know, if we give you grates and we give you guns and there's a couple guys here, and how are you going to do it? And I really appreciate the game for that reason. Plus, it's giving me a lot of, like, lovely Half-Life sort of storytelling in terms of just the occupied city and the way you move around everything is just awesome. Like, it just feels like a real lived-in city, which I love about Half-Life too.
It's a great game in terms of like you can lose yourself in it. I've not had a game that's kind of do that, and I realized like this is the kind of game that does this sort of thing. It's like it's not about like the breadth of your game, but like having highly detailed environments, which they're insanely complicated and insanely detailed.
Totally.
Like you said, Deus Ex has always been a series that supports like crazy completionism, and like the completionism going in every apartment and searching every nook and cranny, because you did exactly the same thing I did.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you open up to the apartment complex, you're scared to move forward because I had to check every fucking apartment in that apartment complex to make sure I was getting everything.
Yeah, totally.
Like, no, I just had to. I had to, and then I went down to the sewers, and I was like, and I got into that little weird like utopia area, and I was like, what's going on? Like,
I found that too. Yeah.
Wow.
You keep running into things early because you're just like you're in such a completionist mindset because the game is so engrossing.
And basically, do what you're saying, Jack.
Sorry, what did you say, Peter?
No, I was just saying, like, so basically what you're saying, Jack, is that this game is going to take you like 100+ hours to finish because you want to get everything.
I don't even think necessarily that.
No.
Yeah, I think you probably do everything in like 30 to 40, honestly. Like, it's not as huge as a Witcher 3, but you could totally probably beat the game in 15 hours versus like 30 or so that I played.
I would say.
I was just doing like a gross over exaggeration, like grossly over exaggeration.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would say that once I got objectives, like I started working on objectives, and I would run into other things. I would log side missions, and I played like what moving me forward is going to prevent me from doing these side missions, and then I would put those on hold and go do other things. Like, but once I got in there, like I definitely started focusing on missions and got off that early bit where your only mission is to go find like your augmentation guy. I definitely was like, oh whatever. I'm like gonna put that on hold forever and go look through every fucking rob everyone.
Right. I have to, like, with these open world games, be like, okay, how much till I get to the tutorial thing? Because I hate when I've played a game for, like, way too long, and it's like, oh, you need like this. Cause I think when I played Red Dead Redemption the first time, it's like I didn't get the lasso, and I was like, how do you like get a bounty alive? Like,
right.
Why can't I do this? And then they're like, oh, you haven't learned how to lasso yet. It's like,
you son of a bitch.
Exactly. So it's like it's tough in these open world games. You have to know how many tutorial missions you have to do before you're like, all right, can I go? Can I? But you don't want to do too many, and then it's like, oh, you're locked out, and you can't go back. Like, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely kind of the thing with this game is it's one of the few times that I've been engrossed in quite a while, and I mean I can't recommend it enough personally.
Yeah, I'm surprised it got such a kind of less than I was expecting in reviews. I mean, maybe Human Revolution was just such a leap forward, and this is just kind of more of a continuation of that, or maybe it's the microtransaction issue.
Oh no, I disagree. Yeah, I think this. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to be a different voice to this. Like, the microtransaction people are a little bit up their ass on this one.
I don't get it.
Like,
I've encountered it once.
Like, I mean,
what they're talking about.
Don't you give me this bullshit where Overwatch is just as bad with its microtransaction system, and like everyone's throwing 10s at it, and I'm like, yeah, Overwatch is probably a better game but not by like much. This is an amazing game, and it's clearly a game maker that's improved on the great things they came out the first time, which is what I want to see. I want to see like a game maker that can improve and hear feedback, and it sounds like they've heard. Like, for me, like, this is such 100% improvement. Like, for one of the things is like, Deus Ex, the first game, looked so bad. Like, they heard that and they made this game is fucking gorgeous. It's finally delivering those originally trailer ideas.
Filter thing,
Because I remember when I was talking to you guys earlier today, how I don't have the game yet, but I wanted to at least like see some of the gameplay, and how much I appreciated that they dropped like that kind of yellow / sepia / whatever color tone of Human Revolution and went for like a more realistic, but still kind of muted color tone, like in Mankind Divided. Like I'm like, just visually speaking, I'm so glad they did that.
See, and I've heard people complain about that, and I'm like, y'all are crazy.
Wait, really?
Yeah. People have complained about the move, and I'm just like, y'all are fucking nuts. Like this game is 100,000% better. Boss fights and just like the integration of the system, like it's just 1,000% better. And I just think like this is actually like, people are so angry about different things going on that don't have anything to do with this game. They're forgetting the fact that this is like a Half-Life 3 level game of like, not Half-Life 3, but it is. I think it's exactly, it's like Half-Life 2 levels of good. And in terms of like a like linear storytelling experience, I do think the story isn't great.
No, that's the thing I will say is that like where it fails for me in the Half-Life test is that the story isn't great, the voice acting is not my favorite, and the facial animations are weirdly stiff. Like, it's crazy to me that we've gone 10 years past Half-Life and we still can't get facial animations interesting in a lot of respects. So it's like, that's where it kind of bothers me. But I like
in my playthrough, I found on running on a PS4 that the movement and the facial animations were outrunning the dialogue. Did you?
Oh, really?
Not outrunning, but we're slowed down or outrunning. Like, I had what I would describe as like true technical issues with just some of the facial animations and stuff.
I don't think I've ever noticed that, but it definitely was very stiff for me on the Xbox One.
You played on I had pretty bad texture pop in a couple locations too.
Yeah, I don't remember that happening either.
Yeah, nothing like overtly to suggest that it would ruin my time. But I agree with you that I was like, some of the character interaction dialogue wise, I was like, not the best.
It's different because you compare him to someone like Geralt of Rivia, who also is a very monotone actor, but he has a lot more passion in his voice somehow in his monotoneness than, especially in Witcher 3, than Jensen does. And the entire time it's just like, man, Jensen needs to be played by Keanu Reeves. He looks exactly like him.
I didn't have a problem with Jensen. I had a problem with like the secondary cast. Like, I felt like they got a good, like, if it was a main character, they had a good voice actor for him. But I felt like they had a lot of bad secondary voice actors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of
like that's what I thought. Like every other, exactly. Every other police officer was just like the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to be a good cop in this city.
Hold on there, asshole. Wow, your paperwork's great. Wow, you must be some kind of badass.
Do you have the proper papers to go?
Yeah, a lot of bad accents too, I would say. And I don't even know what a Zurich like accent sounds like, but I know it's not that.
It's probably not that.
All right, Peter, what you been playing?
Honestly, I've just been playing through Telltale's Batman Episode 1 a couple of extra times because I think the Telltale games that I have played I've really enjoyed, but I realized that I never like really like truly went back and replayed them and like did different choices. Like I would change things slightly, but not so much. So the first time I played Episode 1, I was like totally noble, Cape Crusader, be the good guy, don't like destroy anyone, like don't destroy anyone, don't be a dick. But so the second time that I've been playing through, I have intent at least like where I was like, okay, I can be a dick now. I was like, I'm gonna be an asshole. There was one instance where you get to first really kind of experience Batman being the interrogator, so you have the choice to really brutalize this guy with a lead pipe and break his arm, or not at all. First time I played through, didn't do it, and you know you kind of get Commissioner Gordon being kind of giving the head nod, like thank you for not like resorting to those tactics. But this time I was like, you know what, as hard as it is for me to be like decide, okay, do I hit his face or do I hit his ribs with this lead pipe? I was like, I'm going to break your ribs. I'm going to break your arm. You will never hold a gun again. And Gordon was like, dear God, man. Like, so, like, just choices like that. So that way, going into Episode 2, when that comes out, I think at the end of this month, actually, I will be able to have 2, maybe 3 if I decide to play again, 2 different save files where I'll be able to really like see right in front of me, like in real time, how my choices, how my different choices will affect everything else going forward. So it'll be fun. Like I wanted to make different choices myself this time around, instead of going online and like seeing, okay, if I did this, what would happen? Like for this time around, I'd rather do it myself.
Yeah. No, I think that's brilliant, and there's very few games that I've like come back and have been like, oh my god, I need to have both playthroughs of styles. Like I think one of the few has been Infamous 2 was a big one for me.
Yeah,
where I had to have both endings. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I wouldn't even say that of Infamous 1. Like I was good in Infamous 1, and then in
Same.
Infamous 2, I had to go back and see the bad ending
Right,
because
like,
I just love that game.
Yeah, for Infamous, choosing between Nix and Quo.
Yeah, that's the other thing is Infamous 2 did a good job of making it dynamic by putting faces on both sides and not having the girls be like entirely bad. You know what I mean? Like they took it a step further in terms of making it
they actually had like personal investment in going one way or the other, instead of being like, are you good or are you evil? Choose now.
Exactly. Like they did a really good job of that. I love that.
Speaking of which, Infamous 2, great game, love it.
Infamous 2. All right, let's go ahead and move on. The big story this week that we're going to get to is PS4 Pro and PS4 Slim and all that. But we just had a couple of side news stories that we wanted to get to and just talk about real quick. The first up, Ben, you were talking about the Mass Effect that was revealed this time around. That it'll be a brother and sister combo.
Yeah,
what's that about?
Sort of interesting thing, and I'm curious you guys are doing it. I feel like please game nerds tell us about some obscure game that Rockstar got this actual idea from, but at least the game that I feel like popularized it for most of us was Grand Theft Auto 5. The idea of you can have different characters playing at different times, but in that one you actually had to play all 3 characters, whereas this one you'll still have the same male-female choice, but they'll actually be brother and sister. So if you choose to be a man, your sister will be somewhere else in the game throughout the game, and if you're a lady, vice versa. So it'll be very interesting to see how that comes about, if you can jump back and forth, or like if there's going to be an Andromeda 2, can you then play as the guy, and like does his choices go from the baseline choices, or your choices affect things. They're going to be called Ryder, so that'll be the new shepherd. You know, name your first name whatever you want. Everyone's just going to call you Ryder.
Bubbles.
But it'll be an interesting idea, and I'm curious. It's just a small little thing, but Mass Effect's just so interesting in terms of the way they do player choice. I think we're one of the best for that, and it's kind of expanding it in a way, and I hope it doesn't limit it. You know, sometimes you go too far with the choices, or Fallout 4 kind of had that problem. You know, it's like, oh, we got voice acting now, but now the choices are much more limited because you can't say 9 different things because an actor eventually has to go home at the end of the night from voice recording. So, like, it'll make me very curious if they can balance that well, or it actually works. Like, having is it just copy pasted literally a dude into the same thing where a lady would have been, and vice versa, or is it actually going to be 2 completely separate storylines? That'll be very interesting.
I mean, this is the thing. I always found that Mass Effect did a really good job of adding subtle humor to diversify between the femme and male Shep.
Yeah.
Like, I always applauded specifically their use of it, and I think that knowing them to be good at it, I suspect that it's going to go well. I mean, that's
right.
That's that's my thought. Yeah.
And on top of that, this is BioWare we're talking about. Like, I feel that in their games, when they've given player choice, they have done a fairly good job of giving players like opportunities like where their choices do matter over the course of a game. So I think they'll be fine.
Right, and I think the other thing that's interesting I'll be curious about is what do they do? Do they even tackle romance with the other gender? Cause you know what I mean? Because it's like, well, if I play the man, I could date a man or a woman or whatever. But if I don't play the man, he only dates a woman. Like, I could see that being a sticky situation.
I mean, I would really like to see them get out of like a cut and paste relationship. Like, not to be offensive, but like for me, like BioWare started focusing later on. Like, some of their earlier stuff is even better, even though it is kind of like completionist, like bang the chick quests. Like, I would like to see them not only like have fewer relationships, but have not. I would like to see them all have the exact same amount of representative relationships, but I would like them to focus on less relationships. At any one time, it's not possible for Shep to like initiate relationships with half the crew. That's a little bit weird. I would like him to. And it's not Shep. I use Shep because I just wish it was Shep.
It's who we know.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I would like the main character to be able to initiate relationships in a more realistic, like, you know, there's people that show interest and he works off that interest depending upon the situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to see something, not, I don't want to say more realistic, but just, less.
It feels more organic.
Yeah,
rather than
I want it to feel more organic and be.
Right, at least that's my
I'm asking
what you're saying, Jack.
The best of everything. I'm asking for the best of everything, even though that's not possible.
Are you there,
essentially. Sorry, that was me being depressed. Just saying, like, in terms of like hearing that. But we had one other thing. One other news story this week. World of Warcraft finally released their next expansion, Legion, and while everyone's been talking continuously about how World of Warcraft is going downhill, they're doing the exact same numbers as Cataclysm. So there's that. World of Warcraft, I think 10 years on, is still going just as strong, and it's unbelievable at this point.
Whenever this happens, I jump to apocalypse conclusions. It's like, it's it.
The world is slowly going dark.
I always worry about that. Like, is the world gonna like fall apart when I'm not paying attention? Like, 28 days later, that's like my big fear. Like, I'm gonna walk out, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the apocalypse. You didn't know?" No one told me.
Yeah. Those fears are definitely like I've thought that too. It's like what if something is happening in like someplace random, like or at least someplace that you don't normally think of, like Nicaragua, like right now, and we're not gonna know about it until it's like until like way too late. But by then it's just spreading so quickly that it's like, well, there's nothing we can do to stop it, so figure it out now.
Right. It's weird. I think I heard once like Neil deGrasse Tyson say that if the sun just randomly shut off, he wouldn't know for 8 minutes.
Right.
That's weird. Yeah. Creepy to know.
Yeah. We
Hey, you guys there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Sorry, did anyone turn off their thing?
No, I kept it going. Did you keep
Good,
your
good.
Peter?
Hey, so apologies, I'll cut this out. So fun story. If you are trying to do things on the internet and you change accounts, it's going to kick you out of Google Hangout. That's
I found that out another call ago. Yeah.
yeah, that's nice. I was just trying to log into some other Google Docs, and that went to shit. I'm sure you kept it going, though, man. I trust you.
I kept it running.
Yeah.
Peter, were you keeping it running?
Yeah, I kept it running. I didn't. It was more of just the two of us. Like, Jack, where'd you go?
No worries, no worries. I'm glad. As long as you do that. Did you guys keep talking about Warcraft or?
No, we didn't keep talking. We just didn't hear you, so we didn't.
Cool,
keep going.
because it took me forever to realize I was off because I went into a diatribe about it.
Oh, okay.
And I diatribed for 5 minutes to an empty nothing.
That's funny. Because we were sitting here thinking you were giving like the biggest shade ever. Because Peter was like, "Right, Jack? Right?"
And it was like, and then it was like just nothing. And we were just
like, all right, I get it. You don't like my point.
It's like, damn, what did I say? Shit, God.
I'm not that sassy. Y'all should know. I'm pretty. Like when I'm angry, like you can always trust me to be in your face about it.
Right,
like
you're talking to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't do that. No, I think. So I'm gonna come back in. I'm just gonna give a quick clap so I know where it was. Cool. All right. So. I mean, the big thing about World of Warcraft is just like we're 10 years on and we're fucking still in this place. And I think that's the thing.
World of Warcraft, just so you know. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we haven't.
No.
Story.
Oh yeah. Let me intro it. Okay. So I mean, we're at this point. One of the other newses that are happening in the world today is Legion. World of Warcraft Legion has finally released, and to everyone's surprise, it's doing as big as numbers as Cataclysm, or I guess the previous one was Mr. Pandaria. No, yeah, Warlords of Draenor.
Was the one before this.
Yeah, because Warlords of Draenor was where people were starting to say that things are going downhill.
Yeah, everyone hated like that tower management stuff and like the town stuff, and nobody really liked
they tried to add in a bunch of shit that wasn't very World of Warcraft-y, if you guys catch my drift. I mean, for me
personally, not exactly, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, this is the thing. It's like every time a new expansion comes out and like people are talking about World of Warcraft, I was like, man, I should jump back in. I never will again because that was a destructive part of my life, and I'm never gonna go there. And I'm pretty much. I'll say this. The weird thing about World of Warcraft is that if I'm going to get back into MMOs, it would be World of Warcraft. I'm not going to pussyfoot around with anything else. Do you know what I mean? It's just legitimately, like, for me, like...
doing it for as long as they've been doing it, you might as well go with, like the strongest competitor. Like the tried and true.
But even like a 10-year-old game, it's just insane to me. There's other things that have come up in the news as well, talking about old servers stuff and stuff. It's like because you can't play vanilla WoW anymore, like you just can't play it, and people got really mad when people put up their own personal servers and WoW took them down and wouldn't let you do it, and like people got super angry about that. But it's just hard to admit that like this 10 years games, like people are still playing it, but when it's gone, it's probably going to be gone. And it's never unless WoW allows like legacy servers and things.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing about WoW that it just keeps going, man. Like they stopped releasing numbers on like overall subscriber numbers, and everyone thought like, oh, there you go, that's the beginning of the end. But I think they just hit a kind of threshold of this is our consistent base. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This base is going to support these servers, and it is emptying out. Like I've talked to my ex is super into it, and she said like there's a lot less servers, you see a lot more empty servers, a lot of servers getting retooled into other ones, but there's still people on there who still do it every day. Like there's still a committed user base, and I think it's kind of crazy they're still going on for a game that's over a decade old. But something about WoW just keeps people coming back and buying these $60 expansions, and it's crazy that they somehow.
Well, I think it's just like WoW has like once you've invested that kind of time, like who the fuck wouldn't get back into it?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like and
like work never quits kind of thing.
Yeah,
like I think the thing is like
if you've been in it for that long, then it's like. I'm pretty sure that at least for a number of the people who have been playing WoW long term, they've kind of realized, if you take that away from them, well then what the hell are they going to spend their time doing? And it's just
okay. No, I don't like that argument. I don't like that.
It's a weak argument, and I'm
I don't like that.
I'm sorry.
I mean I don't like.
I will say with Peter's thing is that you do see a lot of like friendship, only WoW friendships. You know what I mean? Where it's like, becomes at a certain point, it becomes more of a social obligation than a game one, which is what's interesting about WoW. And it's not Blizzard's fault; it's the way that once you get to a certain level, you have to play with other people, and you.
I think that's game friendships.
Yeah,
I think that's game friendships to begin with. I don't think that's anything specific to WoW. I just think that WoW was ahead of the curve.
I don't know. There's something about it that.
Well, because it's like it was the game to get involved in, and so like because your friends are playing it, you get it. Like there's a social interaction issue. Like I don't have very many friends playing Overwatch, so I don't feel like an obligation to get on a team together. Like everyone that I played Overwatch teams with for the things, like I played with them because they were just like randos that I knew online, but they were interesting like relationships that I developed. But like I didn't feel as necessary to keep them up or to keep going. I wasn't like beholden to them, in other words. And I think that is truly a thing. It's like, you know, how important are these relationships to your life and how invested into it as a whole are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have much. I don't have like much more to say like in that regard because I'm not like married to that opinion. It's just like random thoughts. Like that might is like possible like possibility. Don't know.
No, I mean, Peter. My only bit is that like saying it's like, you know, I think my thing is like people want to say like, oh, these internet relationships are less important than regular real relationships.
Oh God, no, I wouldn't.
And I'm like, I don't think you're actually saying that. I'm just saying it sounded like that to me, and I was like, no, okay. Peter. Like I think like digital relationships can be like they're unhealthy in certain sorts of fashions, but it's just like real relationships. They're unhealthy in the same sort of way.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get on to the big news of today.
What's up, Sony?
PS4 has a little brother and a big brother, which I don't know how the big brother comes after the little brother, but this metaphor is already broken down. Okay. The PS4 Pro was announced this Wednesday, along with, even though people knew it was already out and people had physically had copies, well, not copies, I mean they had the hardware in their homes or was able to show online, the PS4 Slim was also announced. Price points for these babies. The PS4 Pro is going to be quite a bit more powerful. Well, it's going to be not a whole console generation iteration powerful, but it will have 4K capabilities. It won't have 4K video capabilities, however, which is a big thing that people diss. It'll come in at about $400. And the PS4 Slim, which is kind of the PS4, the base model, launch model PS4 is going to be phased out, and then it's going to be the PS4 Slim, and that's going to be at $300.
And we all knew that one was coming because they like Sony has done that like since the beginning.
Well, I mean they have done that. I think it's just weird though that we're not just getting a PS4 Slim.
That is true. I will agree with that.
And to be honest, like for me, this is like. The iterative consoles for me, which is the big discussion for today, it's always been a problem for me because like I don't think the market can bear a non-essential item to be as iterative as they want these consoles to be. And that's the thing. And here's the other thing is like I have no doubt, and this is my thing, knowing what my experience with the 3DS and the new 3DS and the difference between the power, the PS4 Pro is just more powerful than the PS4. The PS4 Slim is probably going to be a little bit more powerful than the baseline PS4.
Right.
I know I'm going to have a PS4 and a game is going to come out and it is going to not work on there. Or vice versa. Like somebody is going to get fucked and we don't know who it is. And I'm sure like the games that are really important to Sony are definitely going to work. Like, you know, let's say they do like dual platform stuff with like Final Fantasy 15. It's going to work on all of them and it's going to look gorgeous on PS4 Pro. Right. Go ahead, Ben.
No, totally. Like you said, that's the thing. It's going to be like any core game, but I feel like the question is like make 4K exclusive games or whatever, you know, that's the
exactly. It's when this shit starts to get out there and when they start to suggest that, like, and what's going to happen, like, I mean, are we going to go to Sony events now and it's only going to be PS4 Pros because you guys are pros, like, you know, that's what real people have. Right. Like, I mean, we're creating like weird class delineations and ownership of a PS4 and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate because I'm not going to buy a new console. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, like, we're not professional games journalists. Like, we have very limited budgets for this kind of thing. Like, you know, I'm not going to go out and buy a PS4 Pro, and it just annoys me that, like, you're trying to tell me weird, like, one time it's like, you absolutely need this item. It makes this everything else obsolete. But no, this item is still good. Don't worry about it. Like, it's such a weird mixed message that this iteration is doing, and I'm just like, why couldn't you have waited a year and given me a PS5? Like, 1 year.
Exactly.
And just made this console cycle, shorter.
Well, exactly.
All I needed.
It's frustrating because as a person who's an Xbox One, the only one that kind of I would want to pay for right now that I just don't want to pay for just because I don't own, because I actually like the hardware, is the Xbox One S because it actually has the 4K Blu-ray player, while the PS4 Pro does not. So, like, if the PS4 Pro had that that 4K Blu-ray player, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I need a PS4 anyways. Let's get into it. But now I'm just like, I'm just gonna get a Slim or PS4.
Right now, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend the extra.
We're gonna get there.
I can't
like
even get.
like 4K TVs are getting there. Like, I think that the technology is getting there, and people want this to be a thing. Like, people want the Black Friday 4K TV bundles to be a thing.
Totally.
But we're not there yet.
We are. No. I mean, we are. Like, you can
not
get
like widespread.
You can get a 4K TV. No, it's pretty widespread. That's the issue. Last year, 4K TV purchases were pretty on the high end. My parents own 4K TVs.
Okay. They
own 2 4K TVs, and that's not to say anything about them. Like, they can buy stuff. They're older. More established. Like, I can't buy a 4K TV, but like it's definitely, there's definitely a large square of them in households now. It's not like it is a percentage of the American population is 4K.
Yeah. And I think most people probably don't even notice that much of a difference between 4K and 1080p, honestly. I don't think it's that radical shift for regular people.
I think this is the thing. It's like, for me, like, it all comes down to, like, they were trying to predict the industry and which way it was going to go, and they predicted too early and put these things out to die.
Right, and why is there an Xbox One S before Project Scorpio? Like, why not just wait?
Who the fuck would buy that before you even know the price of the Scorpio? Like, I mean, I'll give Sony credit. Here's the PS Slim price. Here's the PS Pro price. Like, what you're budgeting for this Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's smart. Like, who the fuck is gonna go buy a Scorpio when theoretically, like, I mean, who's gonna go buy a PS, like, an Xbox Slim, which, theoretically, when the Scorpio comes out, it could theoretically be like $50 more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it's predicted right now at like
there's
$350, but who knows?
Yeah,
when it comes out.
there's not a big difference in the cost of these consoles. Like, you wait a year and you could buy a 2 terabyte Scorpio for maybe $100 more, and you obviously save that not buying the one right now. Like, I'm sorry, like, this creates, like, for me, it creates, like, customer. I mean, this is all back to this thing. Is like, it annoys me as a gamer having, like. It annoys me that, like, they're shitting on the initial console. I feel like they've shit on my console right now. And more to the point, like, this is confusing from, like, a thing. It can't do well because it's confusing to the consumer.
Totally, because like, when you're talking about consumer, you have to think, like, who are the grandparents who have to go buy this? You know what I mean? And they're like, I want a PS4, and they have to go in the store, and the GameStop person will be like, do you want to buy a PS4? Do you want a PS4 Slim? Do you want a PS4 Pro? They're like, what? I don't know.
Like too much confusion.
Just give me the one Jimmy wants. Like, then Jimmy's going to be mad because he doesn't do whatever Jimmy wants. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much.
I do think, like, they really could pull this off. It's just, like, I will never forgive Hyrule Warriors. Like, that's my like, bread and butter canary thing. When, like, I have a 3DS. I literally own a 3DS just for Fire Emblem, essentially. Like,
just fair. Fire Emblem's a great series.
No joke. There are just 3 or 4 series, like Bravely Default and Fire Emblem, that I own a 3DS just for those purposes.
Yeah, that one was Fire Emblem.
I want to get a 3DS
right?
just for the Zelda game on there. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I own both copies of Fire Emblem, of both sides, so I could play through the story on both sides of the thing.
The Birthright and Conquest.
Yeah, I own, though, I have to admit, I love Conquest so much. People, it's like the darker version. God, that game gets so hard. They really did make 2 versions of the game, and one is just like 10 times as hard as the other one, and they don't specify it.
Which means that I will die endlessly if I get either one because my friend let me borrow his Fire Emblem Awakening, and I tried playing that game, and it was like, I got to a certain point and it's like, okay, this is impossible for my understanding. Probably not for you, Jack, but for me, I was just like, dear God, I can't.
I love those games, and I mean, this is my thing. Like, I I find myself like getting addicted to certain sorts of gaming communities, and definitely it's like the Dark Souls, Fire Emblem communities where the games are like a little bit punishingly. I might have like sort of a weird sexual game punishment fetish going on. So
you should play XCOM on hardcore mode, where when they die they save over.
I don't hate myself that much.
He has his limits.
Yeah, the Deus Ex option, which is humorously titled "I didn't ask for this," is where
I forgot about that.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
if you die, it erases your save. It's so evil. It's so.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's really like there's no way to play it or fool it. It's like it's just like the hard mode, but like if you die even once, like the game restarts. Like you have like one life to live.
Yeah, it's like you have to live it like a real human being who has to survive all these encounters. Yeah.
Yeah. It does put the whole thing in perspective. I thought that was cool.
It's a great idea.
Crazy.
I love that games can do that now, where it's like, all right, let's do a hard mode, but let's do it hard mode. Like your saves get run over.
Yeah.
Our XCOM is smart about it. Let's get back to the consoles.
I love how like the second playthrough of Dark Souls, you feel like especially specifically Dark Souls 3, if you like start a new game plus, you're fucked. But like if you're playing through like on like the regular style, going back through the second run of Dark Souls, you feel so fucking cool. Like you just feel like such a badass because your skills have improved, and so those earlier levels you're like, oh, whoops, Asylum Delum, fuck you. Like, it's great, it's amazing. I love some of those moments, but still, fuck Blighttown and fuck Sin's Fortress. Yeah.
that sounded like a little like you were hurt there.
I was hurt in Blighttown, man. I've only been there for a little while, and it's already a dark gaming memory for me. Let's not talk about it. But here's the thing: what do you guys think about generation and iterative consoles? Do you think we're just going to start? Because clearly, like Xbox has essentially said, like there's not going to be an Xbox 4 or a deep generation cut. Mm-hmm. There's just going to be a continuation of consoles. So every new console will be out at the same time as the previous console and still be selling at the same time. Well, I mean, that's what they've done until now, but they're just cutting the console generation short and announcing new iterative cycles each generation.
Yeah, it's tough for me to deal with. It's different. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is like, which I didn't even live through cognizantly, was sort of the Sega Genesis era, where Sega Genesis was adding on like 32X CD drive, like just extend this life cycle as long as possible, or trying to get Saturn made, but this is different because it's an entire box. It's not add-ons. It's not things like that. It's not like, here's a $100 thing that will make your Xbox One a little bit faster that we always intended to plug in the back. That you can later, it's different than those old school consoles, like were kind of built with like, the N64 has an expansion cartridge which like erupts up the RAM, which helps you play like harder, more detailed games in the future and stuff like that. Like, it's different. I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this idea of $100, $400 thing every year coming out. Like that's
exactly. That's the thing that I can't get past. That just how expensive this will end up being, especially for those who, especially the thing that I can immediately compare it to is the iPhone and how they come up with a new iteration essentially at this point like every year. Like last year we just got the iPhone 6 and just yesterday. Apple was having their big old press conference about the iPhone 7, which is going to drop in literally a matter of weeks from today. Like that's very expensive for the people who want to get the newest thing each time.
In defense of this, though, I think my thing is that's exactly the point. Is the people that want to get the newest thing now. I would defend the iPhone because I'm not embarrassed to have an iPhone 5. You know what I mean? Like 2 generations back, it still makes fucking calls and texts. You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
I have an and yours has an audio jack.
Yeah, we're losing stuff at this point, actually.
Yeah, we're losing an audio jack, and we're losing an audio jack in exchange for $130, $140 headphones. No, thank you.
This is insane. No, they are going to get some pushback this generation. I think. Oh my God, it's going to be interesting. But I think back to the initial point. Mm-hmm. I think that this is a different animal than phones. Like
No,
this thing,
right.
this thing, and that's the thing is like the reason we have these things. We don't have these things just to fucking have them. Like you can buy a Roku to do pretty much everything this thing can do. The reason we have them is to give us portals and access to games. And I'm telling you, if you're going to delineate have 3 consoles out there and a game comes out and can play on all 3 of them, there's no way it's going to pay good on certain ones of them. There's just no way.
Right, and that's where it's
that's not how it's worked up to now.
It's like, because for a while it was always like, okay, it's on PS3 or PS4. Well, the PS4 version is going to be a lot shinier and prettier and probably run better. But the PS3 version's there if you need it, for a long time, while you get save up the money for PS4. But now it's like, you're right. It's like, maybe it'll play great on the PS4 Slim, but it's not going to play great on the PS4. But it will play wonderfully on the PS4 Pro. Like, is each iteration going to have to do tech specs? And then at that point, why aren't we just jumping over to doing computer consoles?
No, I this is the same sort of thing. Like, I highly doubt I'm going to be a console generation. Like, guys, I'm not going to buy a console next generation. Like this is doing this to me. Like this is like I don't mean that as like as a purchaser, as somebody who does not have money to purchase these items. I need to make a decision and have maybe one console a generation. Like this pisses me off. Like this, fuck you. Agreed. Like when I get a game and it's not going to be optimized for the PS4, go fuck yourself. Like seriously. And there's no way that I'm not going to invest next generation in a PC that I can up spec better. Because that's the thing is like, you want me to go this route and have these things and not be able to up spec them? You want me to spend $300 to up spec them every time? No fucking way. No fucking way, because I can invest in new graphics cards, I can invest in all this new stuff, and I can get the majority of games on PC. And, let's be honest, I'm a video editor. There's no fucking reason for me not to just invest in a high-end PC. I was always headed there anyways, but you guys have really, really fucking killed it, because I love the PlayStation brand. I love everything about it. I love having it separate. I love having it being my main house console. I really fucking love the PS4 because it was a generational step forward. It was everything I fucking wanted. But just fuck. Why are you killing this thing that is really like, because you put one in every fucking home. Like you put one in nearly every fucking home, and now it's like fuck you to
before you even knew what it was. You were paying it, you were selling it.
I am
like, why are you gonna have this for more things? Like, who are you gonna get? Who are you gonna fucking get? Because everyone already has one. Do that shit with the PS3. That makes way more sense there. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to say I loved that because that was like real like gamer Jack pain, and I have not heard that yet. And I was so glad that I was here to experience it live. Jack, thank you very much.
No, I just like this really.
Because I agree with you. Like it's such shit they're giving us. Like, why would you do this? It makes no sense.
And if the Steam boxes come down in price and get closer, I think the problem with the Steam box is like, okay, why not just build your own computer for that price? But like, if the Steam boxes get closer in price to this and they all kind of even out, then like, well, great, I get like the power of a PC that's upgradable versus a set box that's going to be obsolete in a year. And I'll just do that. Like, and so that's what I'm wondering. Like, what is the
I'm getting angry. I think I'm also getting angry at people that are like talking about this thing, and there's definitely a lot of anger out there.
The Holy Grail.
Like, no, there's a lot of anger out there, but I think let's be honest, we have limited money to buy these things and to experience certain gaming experiences, like us three, because we don't make any fucking money off Tuscan Shed. So like any money we have for games, we don't have anything to put these stuff together. But what we do have goes to like a very limited set of consoles. And if you're going to do this kind of shit with us, I mean, like when we have to make these choices, it's just like, hey, I'm here from the trenches of like actual, like people that have to make like really conscious decisions about the consoles they're going to have. You're really just fucking everyone is what's happening.
Totally. And it's a thing. It's like,
I'm actually.
Well, it's a tough thing. It's that you have to buy these consoles and then you have to buy like games that sort of justify them, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to buy like a $20 game on this. I'd rather buy it on Steam or something like that. And,
I fucking bought Knack, dude. I played Knack. Like, screw you.
I remember that shit. Wow.
Knack came bundled with my console. Like, Knack came bundled with my PS4.
If it comes bundled, you're obviously going to play it, of course. And I got all those free games.
Of course I did, and it was terrible.
All those free games from Xbox Live until I had to cancel it finally for money reasons. But, like, yeah, I played all those too. Totally.
No, no. I mean, I love like I'm even a fan of like the PS, like all the things they're doing. I'm okay with paying money to the PS4 for their online service because it's so much better than it was during the PS3 generation. I really really loved the PS3 when no one else did, and I would have been okay with this kind of shit happening during the PS3 generation because it makes sense when like, hey, most people don't own a PS3. This is a great way to like innovate and get people in. Well, here we are in the generation where you're winning and you're doing this bullshit. Like you could have just left Microsoft to go off and like shoot themselves in the foot. Like this was the perfect opportunity to let them be the canary in the coal mine, and they just had to catch up. They just had to know what was happening on. They had to jump on this train. They had to do it to keep some sort of weird lead and you know this is their choice. Like this is a choice they made, and they're shooting themselves in the foot when they did not have to.
Totally.
Because like why can't they come back in a year with a new console? Sorry, I'm you guys talk because I'm like winding myself up. This is ridiculous.
Well, I think you've given it all you need to say. Like you said, it's frustrating to this point because it's not menial improvement like it was back in the Genesis days. Full console boxes, and that's where it's tough. Where it's like $300 every freaking year, and like you said, if you get to a point where it's like what's going to work, and we're doing it based on tech specs versus like it's definitely going to work on your PS4 or whatever, then what's the point? Why not just jump over to computer like everyone, like true gamers do? Especially they've.
No, yeah, Jack.
I know that was sarcastic. That was sarcastic.
Yeah, I love consoles. I grew up playing consoles. I like consoles because as somebody who, had different access and wanted to have a laptop in high school and didn't necessarily have the power to play certain high-end games, it was a very cheap, accessible way for me to have high-end, nice games with graphics that I loved. And I still think the console as a model can work. I just think that it's like so the fuck all over the place now. That like this for me is like they're ending the generation of consoles early. They are specifically shooting themselves in the foot and ending this, and they're just going to make a whole generation of people that are going to go to computers.
I agree.
Sorry, I keep like ending the sentence.
I think
I'm not trying to like make. I want. And the other thing is like, because I'm a bit of a whiny bitch here, because like this is a consumer product, and like that's the thing, people are going to buy it and people are going to enjoy it. Do you think there's like a need right now for 4K? And I think there is. And I think they may be right, and they may be making money because they've already made the money on the PS4. And I think the thing is that really what's happening here is I just don't trust the brand. The next time I buy a PlayStation product,
you just don't trust the idea behind.
Right, because I was like, because you gave me 10 years on the PS3, you're not giving me 10 years on this PS4.
No, and then it's the same thing with the Wii U. It's like, all right, I bought the Wii U and I played 3 games on it, and it's over. All right,
it's done. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dan, the Wii U purchase is rougher than this. Where I'm in PlayStation heaven, actually, like having a good console, and like the Nintendo fans are just like, "Fuck you."
Give me gotta buy an NX.
No,
we got the GameCube.
Didn't even get a Zelda game on Wii U.
But actually, but Jack, with you, when you brought up how Sony could have waited a year and let Xbox shoot itself in the foot, like that reminded me. I forget whether it was like 2015 or 2015 or 2014, but E3 press conferences. Microsoft had their press conference for Xbox first, and then it was like the next day. Sony like the next day, I forget who the guy was speaking, but it was like pretty much at the very beginning. He came out and he was basically saying, unlike Xbox, you're gonna get this. Unlike Xbox, you're gonna get that. Unlike Xbox, you're gonna do this. And it's like that. When you said like they could have waited a year, it's like no, they pretty much should have waited a year.
No, this is the thing. The awesome thing about that conference is that was the PS4 saving us from a shit ton of terrible Microsoft practices, anti-consumer practices.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That was the year where I was like fanboying the fuck out of the PlayStation because they saved us. They saved us by having a competitive market. They made it impossible for the Xbox One to be successful in a market when it was trying to push DRM and trying to push excess peripherals and trying to push like a way too high a limit on what the fuck they could charge for consoles and what it meant to be a console.
Always on Kinect and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's so much shit that Xbox One was doing at the time. Like the Xbox One was a terrible fucking concept from console to purchase, and they've had to reel all of it back because of what the PS4 did, and the reason and the fact that consumers easily recognize that. And that's the thing is like now the PS4 Pro is the exact opposite. It's not as bad as the Xbox One. I mean, I think that's the thing is like the PS4 taught people things about this. This isn't bad. It's not anti-consumer per se. It's anti-valuing consoles.
Totally.
Dude, I'm sorry about these like pauses. I'm like,
you just say it all. You're very good. Vitriolic.
I'm sorry about the vitriol. I think I'm probably like ridiculous a little bit about some of this. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think like it is a consumer product they are offering us. Do you know what I mean? Like there is an argument to be made from the opposite side.
Right. We are just not the people who are going to make that argument because we don't agree. We don't.
I don't agree as somebody who feels like he shouldn't have to buy a PS4 Pro to have the best experience.
Totally.
I feel like the PS4 should
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't know how long the PS4 is going to matter.
Yeah.
Like
and maybe
down, there's new stuff.
Maybe they do hit us with like an almost perfect 1-to-1 ratio. Maybe they're really like the upscaling game is like there, but like I as the kid that doesn't have a PS4 and is buying a PS4 Pro for Christmas, like I don't want him to get screwed either. Do you know? Like I don't hate that kid.
Yeah.
Like I like fuck. If he shells out the money and really wants that PS4, like I don't want him. I don't want him hating that. Yeah, I don't know.
But you also don't want him buying something that's going to be obsolete in a year. You know what I mean? Like it's spending all this
exactly
money.
Right.
Like because that's the thing is like, what do you say to kids now? I say buy a fucking PC.
Yeah, totally. Get your dad.
Like I will help you.
Look
I
at
will
some
help
YouTube
you
tutorials.
build your PC because that's what gaming is now.
Totally.
And I think that's yes. You heard it here on the Save Point Gamecast, people. Console gaming is dead. Jesus Christ. I feel like this is not the first time somebody on a podcast has said that console gaming is dead.
we can post this to our PC Master Race and get it put uploads. It'll be great.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, they will listen to this and be like, I was waiting the entire time for this one sentence. Thank you.
PC Master Race. Yeah, we need to like write a doc up of this and just like put in air quotes, PC Master Race. Oh my god, those guys, million upvotes.
They totally called this.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, again, as a console player, they've made it. I don't want to call these anti-consumer practices because they're not. They've
just made it difficult.
Xbox One, when it first came out, was doing a shit ton of anti-consumer practices. This is not. This is them being just stupid in terms of what I can and cannot buy.
Exactly. They've made it difficult for me to say, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy in.
I really want you to buy a PS4 Slim, Peter. I think that's going to be the way to go. I think. I mean, it's just yet to be seen like how good about like keeping their promises they made they're going to be. Like how good are they going to be about making sure the PS4 Slim plays well? Mm-hmm. We don't know. We don't know.
Not yet.
Oh, depressing you as always. This has been the Save Point Gamecast. My name is Jack Newman. I have been joined today by Ben Hayworth.
Thank you, guys.
And I've also been joined by Peter Dancy. Peter, say something funny. I'm really depressed.
Boogers. I don't know. Oh, he's crying. I'm sorry.
I will say I did enjoy one Deus Ex apartment I broke into that made me laugh. Where it was like this woman, and you go to her apartment, and the first thing you hear is meow, and she has cats everywhere, and she has a thing on the thing that says, "Buy cat litter, cat food, new cat." I just appreciated that. So.
Catwoman still exists in 2029. Good to know.
There's so much fun in that game. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we're out. Sorry.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm sorry. I like depressed myself.